VPS Custom's coverage of CES 2018 in Las Vegas is brought to you by Enermax and CableMod. Thank you to them for making our trip possible. Check out their links in the video description and make sure you're subscribed to the channel for all the latest hardware news from the year's biggest electronics expo. Our last CES video for 2018 takes us up to a penthouse suite at the Bellagio to visit Patriot Memory and see all their new storage options as well as a bunch of new products in their Viper gaming lineup. First up is a product that I first asked Patriot about last year at CES when they told me they had no interest in making RGB memory. There were some obstacles involved, including certain patents, and getting the LED modules to work properly was an issue. Well, it seems they've realized that the market wants more RGB, and it was worth the hassle to make the product a reality. Their Viper RGB DDR4 kits will come in both black and white heat spreader flavors, but it will only be available in dual channel kits. You'll be able to grab them in speeds up to 4266 starting in late Q2. Next to the memory modules was a table with some new SSDs. Starting off with the Scorch, Patriot is aiming for the mid-tier market. The NVMe Scorch should hit speeds of around 1700 megabytes per second read and will come in 128, 256, and 512 gigabyte capacities. Next to the Scorch was the Viper M.2, a replacement for the outgoing Patriot Hellfire. This is their performance model available up to 2 terabytes and boasting speeds of over 3000 megabytes per second. Under the Viper M.2 was the Viper 2.5-inch SSD. This is your typical 2.5-inch drive with speeds around 500 megabytes per second read and write, and capacities ranging from 256 up to 2 terabytes. I then moved on to checking out their new peripherals, of which there were plenty. Unfortunately, none of them have proper names yet, and release dates are still muddy, although Patriot is aiming for late Q2. These two mice are mid-range products and of course feature all the RGB. I actually like the shape and feel of these, except they were a little light and had no adjustable weighting. This mouse is actually ambidextrous, as you can clearly see 2 sets of identical buttons on each side. The mouse is also completely symmetrical, allowing you to hold it with either hand with no problem. Patriot is working on a system to disable some buttons to prevent unwanted clicks. It seems like multiple companies had the same idea coming into CES. Meet Patriot's very own wireless Qi charging gaming mouse. Again, this doesn't yet have a name as it's actually much earlier in development than the other mice, and the mousepad itself is a straight up prototype and will look much different in its final form. The Qi charging spot is on the upper right side of the pad and was working just fine during my brief time in the suite. Again, details are still really under wraps on this one, unfortunately, but it does look pretty good. Maybe we're going to start to see high-quality wireless products that are serviceable for competitive gaming. This is Patriot's new Viper keyboard. It should slot in price-wise below their flagship 770 and carries a whole bunch of desirable features like full-spectrum RGB with addressable keys, magnetic detachable wrist rest, media functions, separate volume roller, and fairly rigid construction with a much smaller footprint than the 770 in order to appeal to gamers who prefer more compact designs. Patriot is going with something called box switches, which have a shorter actuation distance and behave as Cherry Speeds might, but have the overall feel of Cherry Reds. And then lastly, on the peripheral side, we have 2 mouse pads, although they were only showing one. The one that I could see and play around with was your typical hard surface RGB mousepad. It has several zones, a detachable micro USB connection, no USB pass-through, and no price just yet. The more exciting discussion centered around an upcoming rollable RGB mousepad. This will be aimed at the LAN crowd who wants a standard roll-up fabric mousepad with the cool RGB edge features. Patriot was actually showing a lot of cool stuff in their suite this year, although it's unfortunate that we don't have exact pricing or availability on basically any of it. They've been around a long time, and their VP Roger told me that they're fully dedicated to the gaming industry, looking to move forward and embrace current hardware trends instead of resisting them. Patriot and their Viper brand are working to be the company that people think about when they think of gaming. And with all the new stuff they have this year, who knows, maybe it'll work. I want to thank everyone for tuning into my CES 2018 coverage on the channel. I hope you enjoyed the sights and sounds of Las Vegas as seen through my camera lens, and I want to give a big thanks to my sponsors Enermax and CableMod for making this trip happen. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned to the channel and get subscribed for more content. See you next time.